Today on Impact Stories, we sit with a man whose voice has echoed Ghana's education halls for over 2 decades. He's a linguist, educator, union leader, and an advocate for equity in academia. From being an advocate for infrastructural development to battling wrongful dismissal and being vindicated after 5 years, he's a scholar who doesn't just teach resilience. He's actually lived it. Join us as we journey through the story of a man I cannot wait to introduce you to. This is Impact Stories, and my name is Maame Ekua Otuakua Nyame. I'll be your host, and I'll introduce to you who my guest is for today after this short break. Stay with us. And you're welcome back from the break. Our distinguished guest for today is one Professor Samuel Atintono, currently the principal of the Accra College of Education. Thank you very much for being with us here today, Prof.
Thank you very much.
And it's always a pleasure to sit with great men like yourself.
I don't consider myself as a great
man. You
don't,
Prof, no.
Depends on how you pick it from.
Okay, but thank you so much.
Good.
Now, I believe that your story is inspiring and fascinating, if I must say. But then, can you take us through how this journey began?
It's really a long story. I think if we want to go through the entire journey, perhaps we might need 2 days here, but I'll cut it short.
Please do.
I grew up in a rural village called Zogamborongo in the Upper East region, precisely Bongo district.
Okay.
Even you have known Bolaga, it's about 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers away from. So growing up in that village, it was at a time they never wanted anybody to go to school. And I think I went to school by chance because by 1973 or 4, I think 75 precisely, I was with my grandpa, and the teacher came around looking for the grown-ups to roll in, and I was just about 4 or 5 years, or not up to 6 years, because in those days you ought to use your hand to measure. If you catch the ear here, then you're up to 6 years to go to P1. They did it and I was halfway this way. But Grandpa wanted to go to the farms. I think it was around June, thereabout, July, when they start the school year. So Grandpa said they should pick me and go. It will help him to do his farm work. My bigger brothers and uncles all ran away from the teachers. So that's how they got me to Zogamborongo Primary. So I got there. Naturally, I was used to home. I didn't want to stay in school. But I found another young, small boy whom I became friends with. In fact, he was a brother, because the families were not too far. Francis Akayiti, he's now currently in Germany. So I made friends. I couldn't walk to the school. You have to be carried by another person. So there were these bigger boys. One called Akamble Kuruga. I remember him very well. He's now quite older. He would carry me on his shoulders, because where my house was, there was a valley, a swampy area. You can't walk there in the rainy season. So you have to be carried across.
Wow.
So that's how it was from the primary school.
Wow.
And I
think but you know, Prof, you did mention that growing up, you actually got a chance to go to school by chance.
By accident.
It wasn't because they thought you deserved it.
Yeah.
Now I am interested. You have a lot of siblings, I believe. How many?
I do.
How many siblings?
I have some younger brother. Much later they went, but I would talk about 4 or 5 of them.
4 or 5. Yes. Okay. Now you have 4 or 5 siblings, but then your grandfather believed in you. Then there's another young man who believed in you, that you have a future somewhere, and so you had to go to school. What do you think inspired that?
Well, I think that the inspiration is I wanted to to a chief, a village chief at the time. The chief at the time had this vision that he should ensure that children from his village go to school to be educated. And of course, my grandpa was also one of the elders in the palace. I think later on I realized that was one of the motivations he said I should go. So in that village, a few of us, especially even today, those who managed to get to universities or probably have some high education, was because of the influence of this chief. So that was the inspiration. For me, I think when the teacher came, he was wearing a white shirt, so I actually admired him. And I was thinking I would one day want to wear that white shirt and also stick in. They used to put the shirt in the trouser and then he has a belt. And again, while we were growing up in the village, we found those who were coming from secondary school also looking very neat. They spoke English. We didn't understand them. I said, we want to also be speaking English. So that was the kind of motivation we had. But let me add that when I was about 10, 11, 12, then you have to go follow cattle. You can't go to school full from Monday to Friday. You must now agree to follow grandpa's cattle and at the same time go to school. And that was one of the challenging things, because today you're in school, tomorrow you're not there, depending on the arrangement you have with other siblings. So well, that's it for the primary level. Eventually, by 82, 83, I think, luckily for me, when I got to P6, I was doing quite good. The teacher liked us. And then we had this other teacher from Bolega who was late Thomas Adaile. May his soul rest in peace. He died just about 2 weeks ago before this interview.
May he rest in peace.
He was interested. He said there was a junior secondary school, a demonstration one. They were having pilot ones at the time. So he think that we could write exams in a 10. We didn't even know what a junior secondary school, because at that time there was only middle school. So we wanted to go to Zokota Rongo Middle School, which was another village about some 5 kilometers away. You have to walk. So we went and took the exam. Something interesting happened. We were to walk from my village for the 20 kilometers for the exam, which was taking place around 9 a.m. We left the village around 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. By the time we got there, it was almost 12:30 or 1. The exam had finished. They asked, what were we here for? The head teacher asked. Then our teacher said he was bringing us to participate in the exam. So at the time was 9 o'clock. How come you are here? He looked at us, he took pity on us because we had not even eaten. Then he said, okay, he will give us an opportunity. I remember very well. Write a story about yourself, just as we are talking today. We from the village, they used to write the question papers on the blackboard. They gave us printed script. We sat down looking at the script. We thought they would come and write. They said, right. So what is that one? Where is the question? So the question was on the question paper before we then started to read, because apparently we're used to
the blackboard.
Exactly. So we participated in the exam. Luckily, we qualified very well. So we went to Kantomi Junior Secondary School. From 82 to 84, it was a 3-year program. And from GHS to Bolgatanga Secondary School, what we call Big Boss. Initially, I went for business. And then later on, by 87, 88, I had finished Form 5. Had interest to become a chartered accountant. So I went to see Form. Then my uncle said, no. He thinks that with the poverty around, it would better go to college.
Go to college.
Again, here was I wanting to become a chartered accountant. Then uncle said, no, you have to go to
college.
I had no option. I said, well, I went reluctantly. And indeed, I was persuaded by bigger brother, Francis Atintono. He was already in a college. I said, it would be good to be a teacher. I said, no, I want to be a chartered accountant. And then when Uncle Adignongo said, no, you have to go, William. He's here with me. I call him my father now.
Wow.
So I had no option but to go to Bewa College of Education. That's Pusiga in Boku at the fringes.
Okay, so you know, Prof, looking back,
yeah,
would you say that decision was a good one? You wanted to become a chartered accountant, but you ended up in the college.
Yes, I would say so. Sometimes that's why you need to have a mentor or somebody to advise you. Because as young people, why did I want to do accounting? Because my colleagues in the Form 5 and the C Form, there were 2 rules. Either you go to do accounting, or if you wanted to do the medicine, accounting, economics, these were the things that your colleagues will tell you to do. But I won't say I regret it, because sometimes God destines you for a certain profession that you do not know yourself. So at the college again, we spent 3 years. I left there in 91 as a teacher. At the college, I have to do literature, social studies. I became purely art, but very, very good in mathematics. Even in the O level, I was a good mathematics student.
Oh.
So that was another thing I wanted to do. At the point we left college, 91, I remember when we were in year 2, there was a teacher who also sort of inspired us and changed us to be who wanted to be. He's not Dr. Odwe, he's at University of Ghana.
Okay.
He really liked us. He was a young man, about 26. Some of the Mamis were actually older than him, who were younger, not up to him, but most of my classmates, some of them were older. There was a guy who was about 40 years even in the college. So he encouraged us. I left college, was posted to a rural area again in Banda Hinkru. That is in a BA. You get to Winchi before you go there. So I didn't know that. I got to Winchi. Anybody they ask, are you going to Banda? Banda is, that place don't go there because it's a remote area. I went to this officer at the Winchi Education office. I think he's called Mr. Ajavare. He's from San Maida. He said, look, young man, you can make an impact when you go to the rural area, rather than staying in Winchi. I took the challenge, went to Banda Hinku. It took us that day almost 6-7 hours. I think today, that's just around Bui area. When you get there, no lies, nothing.
Even as of today?
Today is now transformed. Here is a district capital.
Oh.
So what also I would have left, but when I got there, the head teacher, Mr. Foucault, was a very friendly person. And the community, the chief, they introduced me to the chief, the ensemble man. And I went to the school. I saw that there were brighter kids in the classroom, but no teacher, because it was a head teacher, myself, and another teacher. They were about 3 until some other person joined. So I settled down to teach, and I taught mathematics, English, social studies, virtually everything. I was teaching as a young teacher by then. I think my happiness was that some of the kids I taught within that 3 years, they did very well. Kusiba is now an estate officer in tech. 2-3 days ago, last week, I think one other guy is a education officer, some police officers and so on.
Oh.
So at the rural level, 3 years, but I gotten to the village. When you get to the village, and that's one other aspect I thank God. All we do is to drink palm wine after teaching, that's all. Nobody thought about it. Then one day, I got a letter from this teacher. I said it was Dr. Odwe. He was there, Mr. Odwe, from Puska. I asked where I was. You could only write through post.
Okay.
So when he wrote the letter, he gave it, the postmaster went to pick the letter, came back and also stopped by to drink palm wine. And I didn't get the letter. It was the following day, he gave it to me. Some people by also, we did all those kind of things. So when I read the letter, it was very sad for me. I reflected over it. I said, Samuel, I think you are good and remain in the village. You can go to the university. 2 years down the lane, you promised me you go. You haven't gone.
Wow.
So since that day, I said, look, I'll take a decision on myself. I don't think I have to be here. And I asked my big brother to get me a form. From Winneba, you have to write a mature exam and go there. So I did. And luckily, I passed in 1996 to enter Winneba for a diploma first.
Wow.
Ghanaian language and then mathematics.
Okay.
So,
Prof, would you say that letter
yeah,
was one way or the other a turning point for you in your life?
It was indeed a turning point, because when I read it, I think I refused to join my friends for all the things they were doing. I said, because for your teacher to tell you the things that not where you are and you have a future and can do much better, I reflected. It was a turning point.
Wow.
And these people were, why are you going to school for? And I think I knew what happened. So when I got to Winneba, I had to do for the 3-year diploma. And that took me up to 1998. Yeah, 98. Unfortunately, you might be young to know, but the older people will know that by 1995 there was a UTAC strike that made all the university to be closed. Rawlings was the president by then. We thought we were going for a short time, the whole year, no school. So Instead of 3 years, we spent 4 years.
4 years.
But luckily on our part, when we were about to graduate in Winneba itself were doing diploma, and then they wanted to introduce degree. So they said they wanted a few good students who could be selected if you have second upper or first class to start 1 year degree. So I was among that cohort. So instead of going out to teach for 2 years or 3 years before coming, I went straight back.
You went back
to the university to do PhD in mathematics and then a Ghanaian language. Graduated in 1999 with a degree in mathematics and Ghanaian language. Good.
Okay.
So,
Prof, before you proceed, you said something that is quite striking for me because today, most students, when selecting courses, would barely go in for Ghanaian language. Even if they would go in for languages, they would probably go in for French, for Spanish, for something, anything else than Ghanaian language. Why did you choose Ghanaian language?
Two things. I would also equally think like that. But I had this other professor who also made an impact in my life, Professor Awinkene. He himself was reading linguistics and he had finished his first degree and doing his master's, and they had started the Ghanaian language, and they needed people who were young and could actually be trained to go and teach. So he had to speak to me that he thinks that I have a potential in the language, and it didn't end there. There was another professor, Mary Esther Dakubu, in Legon from African Studies. She was a white, and as she said, she has written, she did anthropology, but in African Studies, so did linguistics. So she was the first to write the Ghana dictionary and said, look, you could contribute your knowledge much creatively and innovatively in your language rather than mathematics, because the Archimedes and whatever, mathematics has already been developed, but your language you could do. So there again, I reflected. It was a challenge. One, I didn't study Ghanaian language in a college or secondary school. How was I going to do that? But in the university, I think Prof. Avia and Akubu did very well. So by the time I was graduating, I have mastery over these two subjects, maths and then Ghanaian language. Then was a issue of when I wanted to leave, Prof. Avia asked I should stay back and support him as a teacher assistant in the Ghanaian language. And it was very challenging because I had gotten
University of Education
Winneba to help him as a teacher assistant to teach in the language. But I was graduating and then got some very good job with American Peace Corps, which they were paying so much, and with the potential of them taking me where I could get much, much better than the university. But Prof. Avia told me, Prof. Dakubu, if you stay here, you can go for further studies. The job you are looking for, yes, you make money, but in terms of career development, he doesn't think that's the best. So I have to again reflect to go back to the university or to go for this lucrative job. In the end, they convinced me and I went back
to the University.
To the University of Education Winneba to do teaching assistancy. That's then from, I remember I graduated in 99, so this was from 2000, 2001. So we got back to the university, then I was a teacher. I was already teaching. Then they said, if you have to stay here, then you have to leave Ghana Education Service. I had risen up to senior superintendent rank, and excited I could go on and become somebody, but I had to abandon the GS and then went straight. We got to the university, they were not paying us anything. They said we were teaching assistants, so we were not on salary. What they could do was to just give you something. It was far below what we were getting in the GS. But the motivation was that if you remain here, you can become a lecturer. So by 2002, 2001, I took a decision to come to Legon now because I was in the Ghanaian language. I can't pursue the mathematics again. I have made up my mind to continue with the language. Then I needed to do linguistics. So when I applied, I informed the faculty by then, that's the dean and the head. But the dean at the time, Professor Kangulo Nate, was saying, no, I shouldn't go, I should stay in Winneba. But Prof. Dakubu had made an arrangement for me to go to Legon. So I decided to come to University of Ghana. I'm talking about 2001. And Eugene said, because I have a first degree in mathematics, I have to do 1 year postgraduate diploma in linguistics. So I couldn't start the MPhil straight forward. So then the dean at the time, or head of department, Prof. Nate, said, look, instead of you doing a postgraduate diploma, then you should come back to Winneba and do MPhil. But I wasn't sure because their graduate program hadn't been established. So I came to Legon Sadly, after a year, they took off my name. They said
They took off your
accused me
name?
of abandoning vacating post. The head of the department who didn't want me to go accused me of a vacating post, which was very weird because we had then agreed that I should be teaching and going back to Winneba. I should be going to Winneba to teach and coming to study in Lagos, which I did. Every weekend I have to travel back to Winneba, would teach from Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday I'm back in Lagos. So where from this one? So it meant that there was no source of money for me to continue to live. Two things, I had to go back or continue. I told Professor Dakubu that this was what has happened to me. So okay, I will take you on a project I'm starting. That's a Golden Dictionary project as an assistant. Then I can pay you something small. Don't forget about the winner. If you're not getting money, I'll give you money. And that's what happened throughout Legon. We're building the dictionary. We go to the field, collect data. Each time we're on holidays, I help her to do all kinds of linguistic analysis. And in between, I have to also do some other translation works in town. That's what I was doing. So I did all that to support myself for the postgraduate diploma. And then the MPhil, it was by 2004 when I was about to graduate and I had finished. Luckily for me, I didn't spend so much time because Prof. Dakubu and one Prof. that were my supervisors. So I spent exactly 2 years on the MPhil.
And that was in 2002?
2004. 2002, I graduated with a postgraduate diploma in linguistics in Lagos.
Okay.
So, but you have to get an MPhil to teach in the university at the time.
Wow.
So when I completed, then Prof. Dakubu had to talk to the then Vice Chancellor, Prof. Anna Moments at the time, that I had finished, and if they are not interested, he might find me some job either in Legon or somewhere.
Wow.
Then we started to look back and said, look, they think that they have to get me back there. So the Vice Chancellor by then, I was there and they wrote a letter to reinstate me.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much. I think for a young man as of 2004 who was struggling to even pay his school fees and stay in school, you at a point got a scholarship to your PhD in the US, then another scholarship to a university in the UK. We will talk about that, but let's take a quick break, and once we are back, we will delve more into the life of Prof. Atintono. Welcome back from the quick break. Now, how many of you out there, when given the opportunity to study outside, to University of Florida, to University of Manchester, after spending a lot of years at the international level, collaborating with a lot of peers, would want to come back? Prof. Atintono, when given this opportunity, still came back to Ghana. Prof, I am interested. When coming back to Ghana, after your PhD, after that numerous opportunities, was it a difficult decision to make?
Not really. Partly because throughout my life, I'd all along wanted to live in this country and make a contribution, particularly in education. Given the background of what I've gone through, I don't think that if government or you have any opportunity, you should stay outside, because already they have all the things that you wanted. So, but maybe let me just get back a bit to tell you how I got a scholarship to go to UK. By 2004, when I said the Vice Chancellor called me back to Winneba, then after 4 years, I got the university usually have Commonwealth scholarships, which people have to compete for. And I remember that year, Professor Sabri Amiya, who was the Vice Chancellor at the time, went for the interview. We were about 10, 12 of us. Then he came and sat down and said he wanted to be sure what each and everyone could do, because it is a competitive scholarship. So he came himself, sat down, and was impressed. But what I did was, it's good to have mentors. Professor Walker had earlier on been on a Commonwealth scholarship. I've seen him, talk to him. He actually saw me and said, look, you have a potential. I've listened to you when you do presentations. So I did a proposal, I looked at it. Professor Mecca, who's now even here as a professor, and we're on a project together, also looked at it. That helped me to get the scholarship. So 4 years down the lane in the UK, I returned in 2013 with a PhD in linguistics.
Fantastic.
Specializing in semantics, typology, and language documentation. What that meant is documentation is about how you can take a record like you are recording here, some linguistic data, and I recorded good folk tales, all many kinds of oral traditions. When I was in the UK, I won a scholarship, language documentation scholarship, which was about $7,000.
Wow.
Got back here between 2011 2012 to collect data, and did a lot of huge work in that area. So I completed. There were opportunities because at the time, UK, for example, when we got there by 2008 2009, they used to have this working after studies. It used to be for first degrees, but they moved it up to PhD in particular.
Oh.
So there were other opportunities to stay there and do some work. People were encouraging us to stay, but from day one, I never liked to stay outside. So I decided that it wouldn't be a very objective thing for the vice chancellor and the university to sponsor you to go. And there were few doctors back in my faculty, Faculty of Ghanaian Languages then. So I wanted to be back, and I did come back. So yes, there were all kinds of temptations and people telling you, why will you come back here? They'll be suffering. But there are many Ghanaians here, they're not suffering. Why am I bothered? So I got back here to my Faculty of Ghanaian Languages, and precisely Gugwenye department. That's a department where they teach northern languages.
Okay.
And back to teaching, research, and supervising graduate students.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Prof, coming back, what kind of impacts did you hope to make? And looking back, what impact do you think you've made?
I think coming back, the Ghanaian Languages Department as a whole had, if you want to say, a complexity of recognition, and people not believing that the staff there have the capacity to deliver in terms of their teaching and their research output. And indeed, before I even contested for the Commonwealth Scholarship for Linguistics, people were asking me, how can you be teaching Ghanaian languages and you want to win a scholarship? What are you going to do there? And, but I proved to them we could do. So what I wanted was I must come back, teach, and make sure I contribute to the department development, especially graduate studies were not yet introduced in that faculty. So to team up with colleagues to make sure we have a graduate program mounted, and we did that. And today, I think I'm happy. I have most of my students where we created opportunity for them to also have a master's degree or research degree in Ghanaian language. It was very difficult. Unless Legon or UCC, you never would have had that. But with myself and my team, even sometime by last year, we've started a PhD program now in Ghanaian languages. So that was one bit of it. Another one is also the fact that I said, I have long also thought that our Ghanaian languages, when I got to understand them and study them, I think there's not much that has been done in them in terms of advocating for their relevance in our national discourse. Most times they talk about Ghanaian and people ask, what is it about? Can they even contribute to anything? But I'm happy we kept on with colleagues at the national level. We made sure we demonstrated in terms of what our work is, research on the languages, and to even come out with a policy. We started in 2015, and by 2016-17, we had a language policy to see how languages can be properly deployed. We've done research around to also demonstrate that this is what our language can do. So in terms of literacy, US 8, from 2014, 15, 16, I was part of a larger project that talked about literacy and how it is used. If you know non-formal education division, which is now complementary education division, we contribute a lot about how local languages can actually be used. So in terms of impact, yes, in terms of literacy, we have made our role there to contribute to studies.
Fantastic.
And then the graduate schools, where today you have many of those who do linguistics and Ghanaian language can go to WINMA. That's what we have done.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, Prof, it seems to me that up until 2017, you had dedicated your entire professional life to education.
Yeah.
However, in 2017, when you were back at the University of Winneba, an unpleasant situation happened where you were wrongfully dismissed as senior lecturer, and then after 5 years, you were exonerated. Now, what caught my attention is the fact that I watched, I was going through the internet, then I saw a comment that you passed after you were exonerated, and I read, these are your exact words: I am happy that justice has been done to relieve me of this psychological pain and trauma I endured all these years. I understand that this situation was traumatizing. I think your words alone tells us how traumatizing it was. But since we have you here, could you narrate the experience? To what extent did this affect your life?
This is something I usually wouldn't want to talk about again, but I think it made me resilient. It made me to understand how human beings are. It made me to understand how, as human beings, we can be wicked to others. What was the problem about? In 2016, in fact, I was a union leader from 2013-14. National level as a National Youth Tax Secretary, together with a colleague we call, he's also called Prof today. He was from the Faculty of Social Sciences. So we're in the university, all of a sudden, we saw that there was some kind of a movement to change the Vice Chancellor, Prof at the time. And as a union leader and a senior faculty member, we knew the rules. They accused him of some procurement irregularities. They accused him of some corruption and some wrongful award of contracts. But because we were working with him, we knew they were wrong. We went for the documents from finance officer and stated everything. We were convinced that there was nothing wrong with it. Except that some people wanted to just become vice chancellors through some dubious ways. We fought against it. The matter ended in court. Then they placed an injunction against Prof. We said no. We continued to speak because we were union leaders. We said what was happening in the university wasn't right. It was an interference with academic freedom. We have tried our best. Unfortunately, those who wanted to be power, Reverend Father Bruni, who was also a colleague, a very good friend, said no way. So what they did was, from 2016, I'm talking about this matter started in 2016. Okay. At that time, April 2016, I had got the Fulbright opportunity. So I wrote. It's a very competitive thing. And got the award in the American Embassy. So then I was to leave in 2017, October. So because of that, when we got to the period, when Avocado approved, given all approval based on the university, he left. Proborni came. I wanted to go. They said, no, I can't go. I said, what is it?
Wow.
American Embassy, they wrote to them that Fulbright scholarship, were about 36 competed. One young man from Cape Coast, Prof. He's a head of pharmacy or dean of the pharmacy.
Okay.
He and I were the ones who won that. So why will I not go? We did everything. They said no. I left. While in the US, I left in November 11th. Then by December 16th, I had the letter that I had vacated post. How?
Wow.
After I have written and told them all these things. I protested, wrote back, they didn't mind me. Wrote another second letter, they didn't mind me. American Embassy contacted me and said, look, please remain where you are, don't worry. But they didn't stop there. They went to American Embassy to tell them to bring me back by force. What did I do? How would you do that? You stopped my salary in Ghana. I was on a scholarship, Fulbright fellowship. You should look for it. It's one of the prestigious and inacademic one too. While I was there, I didn't even bother. I still work with some colleagues, and I was going to get a grant back, which was going to help
the institution
develop languages in the Ghanaian language and so on to support. They blocked all that. I got back here, went to the vice chancellor and said, hey, just 1 year later, forgive me, everything, let's get back. They never listened.
Wow.
So whatever he did, they won't listen. They set up their own committee. We went back. They call it reconciliation something. They exonerated me. They reported it, the first report, chaired by Sir Dennis, Professor Dennis. He's now, I saw him, anytime I get up, I'll go and thank that man. His committee did a very brilliant job.
Okay.
And took every man. I said, no, it was wrong. They never respected that report.
Wow.
So I left. That's 2018. Luckily for me, I got an appointment here. I didn't want to be fighting on the media and so on. So I got the appointment to be a principal of Accra College of Education on 1st of November 2018. So I came here and kept fighting. They set up another committee by 2020 or 2021. Again, remember by then Avoca had come back.
Okay.
After all the things, the other person left, Reverend Father Bruni left, Professor Bruni. Then they set up another committee. And when I went and narrated my story, I think I want to thank those who were on that panel. There's somebody, the name is Bonnie. It's called Bonnie. He's very, very good. They listened to us and they noticed there was nothing. So they reinstated me. That was the second time, paid me everything. And I think I was happy. That's the trauma that I had. Because on the net, I have heard people speak about me, those who don't even know, they're accused of all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And if you are not strong enough, you cannot, in this Ghanaian context, people see and accuse you, oh, this is a person who vacated, or this is a person. There was no truth on it.
Yeah.
That's why I said, at least for now, that huge burden have gone down. I could focus on my career and how to contribute in building Mother Ghana.
Fantastic. Prof, could you tell me how this experience affected your family, given that your family, your grandfather, perhaps your siblings, your wife, perhaps, people believed in you. They were rooting for you. You had gotten to that point in life where you were doing well. Then this bombshell just drops. What kind of impact did it have on your family?
I think my family, I would say, my uncle, the Uncle Willie is there, he's still living. He said, look, give everything to God. We know who you are. We don't believe what they have done. This just persecution, God will make a place for you. So they were all sad. Everybody who knows me did not believe what happened, but they were sad. But I think they also provided the social support that I needed. Because if they also believed it, then I was just going to be, I couldn't be strong enough to be doing what I'm doing. But I trusted God and trusted that, I mean, deep inside me, I knew I have done nothing wrong. And one day, the truth will come out. Yeah. So the family was a huge support.
Great.
We were disappointed, but very supportive.
That's very, very good to hear. Yeah. Now, Prof, you became the 8th principal of Accra College of Education in 2018. That's more or less like 1 year after the scandal began. Given that you had all this story with you, you were carrying all this baggage, how did you land yourself this opportunity?
I think in me, what I don't do is I don't brood over problems for long. I believe that I have to always rise up and focus. So I put that behind me.
Fantastic.
And heart in mind, when I got a chance to come to Accra College, that there's only one thing, that this huge opportunity given to me again, I have to demonstrate to the authorities who appointed me. I have to demonstrate to the community where I found myself, my students and the staff, that yes, I could make an impact here, leaving behind the Wilma kids. And that's exactly what kept me going on. That I want Accra College to be at a certain point. I want to make sure the group that I have joined, the principals that think of, they should also have a visibility in the education sector. So that is what I did.
Okay, Prof. Now, with all these number of years that you've been here at the Accra College of Education, what legacy would you say you are most proud of building here in this institution?
I think that as an education institution, a professional development institution for teachers in particular, one of the things that a principal, or what was in my mind, one is infrastructure development. The colleges were pre-tertiary, and I thought they need to be lifted up to a certain point if they could contribute to education development at the tertiary space. So what I wanted to do is to be more than it, but I think even what I have done in terms of infrastructure is something I can knock my chest while living here. This space I will sit, if you knew Accra College before, it was just a small, tiny corner down there, and I don't think that was how a tertiary institution should be in a principal office. There are other blocks for students and lecturers. They were in a staff common room. We've gotten beyond that to give them spaces to stay. But beyond that, all this will translate into the educational outcomes. Student performance, student experience are all what I wanted to enhance. And luckily, I thank God, those legacies are left behind. When I got here, when students are graduating, maybe 1 or 2 first class, I think if you see the qualification from when I took over, I'm impressed with that one. So I'm leaving a legacy of good kind of infrastructure, a little bit of infrastructure left behind, and then a student experience and performance enhanced.
This is great because when you check the internet, I think when you type Professor Atintono, you see how passionate you are about infrastructure. So I'm very happy to hear that with the number of years you spent here, you are contributing positively to infrastructure here at the institution. Now, mentorship has been a core part of your journey. I'd like you to cast your mind back. Probably if you could highlight one of your mentee stories that you would say profoundly shaped your view on the importance of guiding others, if any story comes to mind.
I think my mentor, mentee.
Okay. Someone you have mentored.
I think I have done quite a number of young people when I was in Winneba. I helped or tried to assist them to grow up. But one person I can point out is Professor Issa Alasan. He was a young man. He graduated from Legon. I got to know him in Legon. Then much later he went to Traham, that's Norway, to do a master's in MPhil in linguistics, and needed a place to teach. I guided him. He luckily got appointment in 2008 in Winneba as a lecturer by then. We kept working together. I guided him in terms of what he should do for development. His PhD studies he did. He's very brilliant and fantastic. Today, I'm happy because 4 or 5 years back, he also now returned as a doctor. He's currently a professor at the Faculty of Ghanaian Languages at Jimako. And I'm happy for him. He does a lot of things. Even quite recently had won a grant for mentorship, which last week we went together and we are on that project. We've worked together in terms of collaborating research and developing. When I talk about the literacy thing, I think I have to highlight it because it's one of the things I can knock my chest that I have facilitated the development of Kusal to be taught in Winneba. I facilitated the development of Likwankwan. That's a language spoken by Kunkumbas. It is being taught in Winneba. It's Issa and myself. I've also facilitated Sisale. So these are rural communities. These are languages that we brought up. The last project we're on is on Mamprole, which we are doing. So all these are opportunities. The languages are now taught in Winneba, giving these communities the opportunity that their language can be developed and support teaching and learning, especially literacy at the lower level. And then for me, I'm happy that at least our work as linguists should not be restricted to just academia. It should have an impact in communities. And last time I was in Winneba, I saw students from all these 3 communities. I'm still in touch with their chiefs and the people. And each time, I'm happy a chief will call or pass by and said, "We thank you so much for doing this development." So Prof. Issa and myself, who was a mentee, is so huge today. There's another young man, but I think I will only talk about Prof. Issa.
Now, Prof, in the light of talking about languages, you co-authored is it the Gurene?
Yeah, Gurene. Perfect. You have that one.
Okay,
Gurene.
So yes, so
English
you
dictionary.
English dictionary.
Sure.
How was the journey like?
It was very hectic because it was the first kind of product or attempt we were making to develop it, and that was where I realized it's not easy. You can speak a language, but how to actually organize it is not easy. So it was through a project that my former mentor and lecturer, Prof. Esther Krobdakuda, I mentioned, was one of the people who facilitated me or motivated me to do Ghanaian languages. She got a fund, and it was for production of dictionaries in Ghanaian language. So Gan was there, Godin was there, Ever, and then Akan. So we had it at the Legon Linguistics Department. So my role initially was to collect data. Think of anywhere to enter it. You take in a video source, you have to go to community and collect data and come and feed it in. It was hectic. It took us about 7 good years before we could produce that dictionary. So it is Godin English, it means the word is in Godin. For example, deer, that's food. Then you can have something like kuum, that's water. Then you describe, that's what we did. But it took us some effort. You can see the whole day without getting 10 entries properly defined. Because how to define was, we have to define a good. An animal with ears, is that not a sheep? So it made me to understand how it is important in language to make fine descriptions, to make clear meaning for readers and learners. So it was a very good experience because Ghanaian language dictionaries are not common, and it's one of the few things that we quote, and I'm excited about that. As an academic, knowledge production is part of us, and I'm happy that's one of the knowledge products that we have.
Now, Prof, is the dictionary on the market? If someone wants to get a copy, how do they get it?
Yes, you can get. It was the Legon Linguistic Department. They supported it, so we have copies there.
Okay.
Sometimes we also have some. We're working to get a revised version. So mostly you have it in a Legon. I will double check what is in their bookshop, but it should be at the Linguistic Department. And sometimes we have some in Bolga at the Catholic bookshop.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Prof, I would want you to teach me how to say thank you in Gorene when we are getting to the end of the show.
I'll do that.
Yes, but away from your professional and academic life, how do you like to spend your leisure time?
Oh, very interesting. I have a social life. I want to sit down with friends, chat, network, but I still have that passion to sit down and do creative writing. I've written books just in the language, and I continue to usually on my free time to do that. But I'm very sociable. I try to make many friends, try to network. Today there's the social, we all get on board, so we have some group chats. You sit there and chat around with my former mates and all kinds of things. But most likely if I'm not doing anything, you find a friend. And today I'm in Prinkoff, so you have some principals coming around with just chat.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for talking to us. This has been very inspiring, Prof. Now, Prof, back to my one word, Gorene. I want to learn how to say thank you in Gorene.
Imposia.
Come again.
Imposia.
Imposia.
Or otherwise, just say fara fara.
Fala fala.
Fala fala.
I think I'll go with fala fala. Anyway, thank you very much for talking to us, Prof. Fala fala. And thank you to you, our viewer. I hope this episode has been inspiring to you. Now, Prof was just a young man who didn't have any chance to go to school. Then, out of the blue, his grandfather gave him that opportunity. His grandfather believed in him. He got a lot of mentors who guided him throughout the process. And today, Prof is a principal of the Accra College of Education, and that is quite a huge milestone. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you once again. And in Gorene, I'm going to say fala fala. See you next time.